all kinds of background noise here. Hi everyone. I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. Um, I have to apologize. First of all, I'm late. For those of you that were waiting 5 minutes ago, yes, I'm so sorry. Had lots of technical issues going on in the last probably 12 hours. One of my blog posts, which was attached to this, the one that was supposed to go live later on today, went live 12 hours early. And so anybody who was subscribed to my blog posts, you get my blog post via email, sent to your email. You got it at 3 a.m. Central Time in the morning. And it did not have everything in there. It wasn't a complete blog post, didn't have the supplies, and of course this video wasn't ready, right? This is also linked to a blog hop that I'm doing. So my apologies to so many people. Okay, so anyways, what I did is I just re-upped the post. I redid the post and sent an apology email to all of my blog subscribers. And here I am. So hopefully the next time this is supposed to go live, or the first time it's supposed to really go live, is going to go at 3 p.m. Central Time. And I know that's later than normal for those of you that come and watch my YouTube lives, but I am, like I said, connected to a blog hop. This blog hop is done by our all-star tutorial group, and there's 12 of us in this group. We are demonstrators from all over the globe, and we are presenting to you some fun projects using the Artistry Blooms suite of products. So on that note, today, right now, as I'm broadcasting to you live, it is December 3rd at 11 a.m. Central Time. And a big welcome to all of you, a special welcome to those of you that are first-time viewers on my live paper crafting class. And I'm glad that you're with us. I'm glad that all of you are with me. I'm going to share how to make a split circle card. And I have two different versions to share with you today. This is a really fun trend. It's a technique that's out there using circles, half circles I should say, stacking them in certain ways so that they look like they're flowing into each other. I'm going to be using, of course, the Artistry Blooms suite of products. And I'm using, in that suite, I'm using the stamp set, the dies, the rainbow glimmer paper, which really makes this card a wow, and then the sequins. And then I'm also going to shift gears for the second card because it was requested that I would share something related to New Year's and celebrating 2021 coming in. And so I thought, you know what, that's a great idea to do with this style card because it's such a bright, cheerful card. And it just screams celebration. So I did another version of that, and I'm using some different products for that. You will find all of the supplies listed in the description of this video, so you can refer to that. You can also wait until, what time is it right now, 11? 4 hours from now, my blog post will go live, so whatever time zone you're in right now, just count 4 hours ahead, and the blog post will go live. You can find it at stampyourartout.com. You can also look for the description in the video because the link is in there for the blog post. In fact, that just reminded me about something. I have to change that link because that link's going to the old blog post. All right, note to self, right? Hopefully I'll do it. It's crazy. And then last night, so yesterday, what was yesterday? The 2nd. Yesterday, my pre-order for the new products for the upcoming mini catalog and celebration brochure arrived because I overnighted it. And so I just decided at the last minute to do an impromptu video, and I posted that to YouTube. So you have that video that just came through if you're a YouTube subscriber. This one's going to come through, and I was in another blog hop this morning. So I hope that explains why. And that is related to a video too that just posted. So I hope that explains why I'm kind of frazzled. There was just too much going on. I can't juggle that all anymore. In fact, my water should really be, I don't know, wine. All right, we're gonna take that off of there. We're gonna bring you over to my computer let me set this up here. Oh, a big welcome to Trisha Josephs. I'm sorry. Trisha, I've been so caught up in all the mess that happened this morning. Trisha Josephs is my moderator. She is here to answer questions. So all of you that are watching live with me right now and you're commenting, I actually have like an inability to go back in to the live comments and comment afterwards. So that is why I post certain comments, like I'll share them in just a minute with you, but she answers questions for you on the spot. Thank you, Trisha Josephs, and she changed dates for me because normally I go live on Wednesdays at 11, but today I needed it to link to my blog hop post. So it's Thursday. Okay, Thursday, December 3rd. All right, let's bring up the comments from last week and check those out. Fun. It's always fun to read what you write. Of course I can't post all of them for you, but you can peek at these and see that we had people from all over the globe chiming in. So thank you, those of you that were live with me last week. It was Thanksgiving here in the U.S., so we had some people chiming in, Happy Thanksgiving. And I love what Renee wrote, Happy Thanksgiving to those of you that celebrate it, or Happy Thursday to those of you that don't, because the next day was the Thanksgiving. What else did I want to mention here? Oh, Kara, or Kara, however you say your name, yay! It's always nice to have a day off from work, so that was great that you were able to join us that day. I love when you share the weather too. Cheryl shared that she had huge flakes in her part of the world. And then these were some things here that I was I needed to address or I was confused on. The first one, Yvonne mentioned that I had made a mention about a video that I did with the Stamparatus. And I mentioned that it was related to it was linked to a blog hop that I did years ago. I did put that in my description of the video from last week. So if you didn't catch that, you can go and look at the description. All you have to do is just expand what's underneath the video. I think it says like see more, and all you have to do is click on those words and it'll take you to a bunch of information for the description of the video. And then Suzanne, she said that she uses the whiteboard eraser, a whiteboard eraser to give extra pressure. And so I'm not sure what she meant by that, but it sounded interesting to me. I'm guessing what she meant is that when she presses down on the stamps, when she's using the Stamparatus and she's pressing on that platform that the stamp is attached to, that she uses an eraser for more even pressure, I'm guessing. But clarify that for me, Suzanne, if you are on live with us today. And then Renee also chimed in about, let's see here, if you take the lid and Gorilla Glue it to a furniture pad. Can you explain that more? Because I was totally baffled and I was like scrolling back trying to figure out what that was all about. So let's bring up the supplies for today. For the split circle pocket cards, I'm going to make two. I do have the imperial, which is inches measurements, and I do have the metric measurements, which are in centimeters. So you can either do a screenshot right now, or you can wait until this blog post goes live in 4 hours and you can get the measurements there. And then the Artistry Blooms card supplies that I'll be using are all listed over here. You can see I'm going to be using 2 different stamp sets. The Hand-Drawn Blooms stamp set is from the Artistry Blooms suite. And then the other stamp set is called Best Year because it has a message in there. I was like, that's perfect for New Year's Eve. I couldn't find a New Year's Eve message in any of my other stamp sets that I have here. But that one was perfect. The Hand-Drawn Blooms and the Banner Blooms dies, when you combine them together, let's say you really enjoy them and you want to get them and you don't have them yet, you can either get them in the bundle where you buy them together and you save 10%, or you can buy the whole suite. Suites are available for one order number, and it includes that 10% discount that you would normally get in the bundle. I'm also going to be using lots of dies. So I'm bringing in the Big Boss, which is our Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. So I'll be using that today. And I think that's it as far as wanting to point out certain things. So you can see on my desktop here that I have in front of me one of my favorite breakfasts. This is yogurt and berries, because last night, if you did not catch that video, it was live on Facebook, and then what I did is I took the recording and brought it over to YouTube so that more of you could see it. But I mentioned that berries, we have some new berry paper and a berry stamp set and a berry pun. I mean, it's top notch in my book. So you'll want to check that out. Products are both from the new celebration brochure and from the mini catalog, the January through June mini catalog. These are going to debut on January 5th. So you'll want to get your hands on these catalogs. You'll want to also make sure that you watch that video so that you can see all the fun goodies that I got and kind of get a peek into what's coming. I'm going to set those aside. I can't open them up for you, so if you're commenting right now saying, open it, I can't. It's a little rule that we have with Stampin' Up, so you'll just have to peek at the video instead. All right, so my table is clear. We're ready to stamp. Sorry about all that. And again, apologies for the noises that happened right before the live started. So, hand-drawn blooms. These are the dies. These are the stamps. And again, combined together, you save 10%. The dies are called Banner Blooms dies. You can see that there's this really fun, large die that's got some detailed flowers on it. It does not line up with this flower, but it's meant to just kind of have a coordinating sort of design to it. But these stamps, the ones that have this look to them, line up with your dies. So you've got 3 sets, 1, 2, 3, of curvy shaped words that fit into the banner portion of those dies. Now, I'm not going to use that when I do my card today, but I wanted to point that out in the uniqueness of this particular die and how it relates. We are going to just be using 1 stamp from this set today, but you'll want to check out the hop that's connected to this video because there's going to be tons of creations using the suite. Let's move that off to the side. Let's grab this die because we're going to need it. And let me show you just a couple other products that are in this suite. This one has been well loved. In fact, this is probably my 5th pack. I love these sequins. This is another product that's in the Artistry Blooms suite. It's these beautiful multicolored self-adhesive sequins. So we're going to be using those. I'll get those off to the side and set them up. And then the rainbow glimmer paper. Who knew that I was going to like it this much? When I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's really intense. But when you take little portions of it, it's fun. You have this colorful glimmer paper, and when you just do different sections, you can you could get kind of an ombre look, or gradient would that be? I can't remember. One of them is just 1 color and one is like 2 colors or more combined. Tell me if you know. But anyways, yeah, so this one I just kind of like took and did green, but here you can see I got the green and the blue in the circle. And so it doesn't have to be like all multicolors of the rainbow at once. So you can see when you look at, this is even just a half a sheet, but when you look at that all at once, it's overwhelming. But when, again, you cut portions of it, it's drop dead gorgeous. So we're gonna try to cut portions from what I have remaining. I did order more, but they're not here yet. What else? Dies, some other dies that I'll be using. These are half of my layering circles dies, and I put them together like this because I would love for you to see comparative wise which dies I'll be using on these cards. These are the other dies, okay? So there's scallop circles and then there's regular circles. So I'll be using the largest, 3rd and 4th to the largest, and then 3rd to the smallest dies. I'm just gonna pull those out so that we have those handy. And these dies normally I just kind of stack on my magnet sheet so that they're, like that, like you saw for the scallop ones. Okay, so those are going to be put off to the side. We're also on the second card, and we'll do a lot of die cutting at once, but the second card is going to be using this die. And this one is from a set called Stitched Stars, which is gorgeous. It's got lots of different stars on it, of course, and then this swirly one, which is going to make a great background. So far we're die cutting a lot of dies. The next one that I want to point out is this set of dies. Now, if you look at that, you're like, how do you read those? I still, I look at them and I'm confused. And even if you turn them over, they're not always easy to read. That one you can see is St. Patrick's, right? But that one's a little bit harder, and that one says day. So anyways, I know what they say now because what I did is I took and die cut all of them onto one big sheet so that I can kind of have that as a guide, so I know what words are in there, if that makes sense. And I just keep that handy with my dies. So we've got our happy and our new year for that second card. Okay, I think that's the die cutting that we'll be doing. So we're going to die cut a black circle. We're also going to die cut three white circles. So let's get that paper ready. Let's zoom out just a tad so you can see my cutting. These cards could be geared towards beginners, except for the fact that I'm using some more expensive products. I'm using lots of dies, and dies, especially like the die cutting machine, they're higher in price. So if you're a beginning stamper, please don't get overwhelmed by this video. It's got a lot of product in it, and you don't need it all in order to start paper crafting, I promise you. But for those of you that have a lot of this, maybe you just have to invest in a couple sets of dies, who knows. We're going to cut this cardstock. This is our 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and we're going to cut it using the dark blade in half at 4 1/4 inches. And then what I want to do is I want to save this because we're going to die cut from it, but we're going to take half of this sheet and we're going to score it down the middle. So half of 11 now is 5 1/2 leftovers from last night's cutting. All right, so here's my score line. You can kind of see that, hopefully. We're going to fold on that score line. We're going to use the bone folder. This is a tool that is not necessarily necessary. Say that 10 times fast. But it's nice to have for lots of things. Curling things, curling paper, curling, ribbons that can curl. Burnishing, getting some adhesive bonded more to a cardstock piece. And then of course, when you're scoring and folding, it helps to really make those creases nice and crisp. So we've got that ready. We've got our half black. This is our basic black. That was our Whisper White Thick. We're going to score this one at the same spot. And I messed up. I just realized. Those of you following my measurements, I messed up, but thankfully we have another piece of white. Okay, let me score this quickly. Again, too many videos in 24 hours. Too many blog posts in 24 hours. Forgive me. Okay, I'm looking at my measurements over here. For the Whisper White Thick, you want to score a different way because we're going to make a pocket card. So we're going to score 2 inches in from the bottom, and we're going to turn it around and score 3 1/2 inches in from the top. That is going to form kind of a gatefold. 2 inches plus 3 1/2 is 5 1/2 inches. We got that done. Okay. So now we're ready. This one's gonna become our scrap that we die cut in a different way. So here are our 2 card bases. We have those ready. Let's bring in our rainbow glimmer paper because we're gonna need to cut from that. And I'm just peeking at my sample. I think we're gonna have to change colors just a tad. That's okay. We're gonna cut along this edge here, and we're gonna cut with our largest circle, and we're gonna cut with our one that is second to the smallest with our rainbow glimmer paper. Then we're gonna cut black with this one, 2 of these out of the white, and another one of these out of the white, but we'll also need some of this. And then the words, I've already pre-cut this, by the way, so you don't have to watch that. The words we need to have sticky. So the trick for that is to bring in some adhesive sheets. So we have these wonderful sheets that you can get that are basically it's like spreading glue on the back of your paper, but you do it before you die cut. And that way when you die cut really, really fine detailed kinds of dies, you don't have to worry about taking your glue out and trying to weave in and out of all of that stuff. So we're just going to trim off a bit. Let's see here. I want to attach some to I'm going to do some yellow. Oh, let me peek here. I want to make sure I'm doing this right. Oh, we're going to do green and we're going to do purple. Okay, no yellow. So we're going to do some purple. This is kind of like a die cutting lesson, you guys. So we're going to do some purple in this spot, and then we're going to do, and that's going to be for New Year's. And then the happy is going to be in kind of a bluish green color here. So I know where I want to die cut. Now I can cut this sheet to make it fit, and we'll do like, let's see here. Yeah, we probably only need like maybe 1.5 inches. We'll do 1.5 inches of it. Okay, so oh, that's kind of big. That's okay, we'll trim it. So this one will go on the back of this, and we only need maybe, let's see here. Let's do it this way. We only need about, see how I'm measuring? I'm using the die as kind of a guide. Let's do 3 inches of that in that direction. And then since we did that other one at 1.5 inches, we might as well make it fit the adhesive sheet. So that's ready to die cut. I know you guys are like, that's a waste. Shh, don't tell anyone. And then this one we can cut at, it looks like 2.25 inches. It's nice when you can get your scraps for your adhesive sheets, when you're going to put adhesive sheets on the back. It's nice if you can get them to be kind of in a rectangular shape. So now we bring in this adhesive sheet and we cut this one already to 3 inches long. So when I put this on, I want to have a 3 inch by 1.5 inch piece for that. And this one, what was it? 2.25 by 1 and something. You know what we'll do for this? No, we better measure it. Okay, 2.25, otherwise it's going to be a sticky mess. 2.25, and I'll save that because I'll use that little scrap later. And then how much was this? 1 1/8. Okay, by 1 1/8. All right. Now we just pray that I can peel off this adhesive. So we're going to keep those adhesive sheet remnants. You have to do this step before you die cut. So we're going to go in here with our fingernails. And if you have thick fingernails, you can grab that, take your pick tool, grab it so that you have the ability to pull these apart. So what you've got here, can you see that? Oh, look at, they do put little splits in the paper, which are supposed to help you. So here's the sticky side, and here's the side that I'm peeling away. And that's gonna go right down on the back side of my glitter sheet. And then I peel this portion away and stick that down. Okay, so now what I've got is I've got it's gonna be a sticker ready to go. It's gonna be sticky when I peel off this backing later on. Let's do the same thing here. I knew this one was big enough. I knew I had a big enough piece on that one, but okay, so now we just, again, lay it down. And you can cut it a bit smaller if you have a hard time lining it up, but I wasn't thinking. And I got lucky. So that's gonna get cut from that. That's gonna get cut from that. All right, I think we're ready to start cutting. Let's bring in the big shot. I'm sorry, not the big shot, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss, the big boss. Set these off over here so that we can get the machine in view. All right, and I've got clean cutting mats for you today. When you're using the big boss, you're going to first put your platform down, that's number 1, and then we want number 2 to lift it up for our thin dies. And then we want a cutting mat. So we've got number 3. And let's go ahead and do our white sheet. Let's set this one up. And I only need the top portion. So I'm going to set it up like that. So it's off the paper. I only need the top portion of this die. I also need this circle, and I need another one that's like this size. Make sure that they're all on top of your platform. If they're not, then you want to reposition your paper or your dies. So we're going to set this on top now. Again, they don't have to be in any perfect order. Oh, stop, Rachel, stop. Don't do this one yet. Okay, I won't. Okay, we'll just do these two right now. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm guiding, I want to show you this too. I'm guiding my dies in so that I'm not putting like a flat edge coming in first. Flat edges will make it so it's a lot tougher to die cut. You want to guide it in kind of with a point first or a curved edge or something like that. And I'm kind of holding this down here because I don't want the white to move on me. Now when we take this off, you're going to see that we have a little bit, like this one's going to be nice and clean and easy to remove. But look underneath this. Do you see that? It's a fun mess. So you want to make sure that you clean up your messes in between cuts. I'm actually going to put this through one more time, I think, because I don't think it cut all the way. Sometimes that happens. In fact, here's a trick that I just shared with my friend Belinda. I'm not sure if she's live with us or not. But you take and sandwich it and you flip it over. And that way the rollers on your machine will come in closer contact with the blade part of your die. Okay, let's guide it through. Make sure it doesn't move on us. And you can see, you can already see through here. It's a deeper cut, right? All right, so we're taking this. It's clinging. Static electricity, gotta love it. Let's just throw that off to the side here. We'll clean up that mess later. Pull that off and give a peek at what we've got here. So here's our detailed die that does not quite have everything out of it yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this die back on top like this. It's messy. It's getting messy in my room. Yay! I know a lot of you are proud of me. I am a neat freak typically, so this is good for me. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm putting it back over the top, and I'm going to grab what's called a die brush. And this is our die brush attachment. I think I forgot to mention that in my list of supplies. Oh, my brain. How can a 52-year-old keep this all in her head? Okay, so see what I'm doing? I'm holding on to the paper and I'm brushing at the same time. This die brush attachment, when you purchase it, it does come with a foam mat, but I just find it easier to feel when the pieces come out if I hold it this way. So I'm just brushing across the top, and now when I lift it, I can see I've got one more piece yet to kind of, well, I can just do that by hand. So I've removed all of the intricate parts of that. That's set to go. Then you want to look at your die and you want to remove any pieces that are still in there because they will cause you problems. You can see there's a white piece here. They will cause you problems the next time you die cut if you don't clean out all of those portions. Little die cutting 101 for you. Grab my garbage and we'll just shove that in. Okay, next, let's die cut. And again, you want to have a clean mat. Let's die cut our second circle that is that size because we need another one of those. And we need a black circle. So I think what I'll do, this is the one that I'm cutting against. Put that one here. So you want to do that, by the way. Again, die cutting 101, you want to have your scratchier one, the one that you're cutting against, always the one that you're cutting against until it's kind of messed up and warped and, you know, all that stuff. Like you want to use up one and then your other one becomes your top mat or your top cutting mat. And that one, it just makes them last longer, I think. All right, which die are we doing again? That one. Okay, so this one's going to go here. We're going to do our black here, like that. And we'll cut those right now at the same time. Because they're circles, I don't have to worry about any flat ends going in. The circles are nice, easy, clean cuts, ready to go. Now, here's where I didn't want to cut my small white yet because I need to stamp. So I'm going to take my stamp from my Best Year stamp set. And here's the one that I was mentioning earlier, has a perfect sentiment for New Year's Eve cards. Wishing you your best year yet. It's supposed to coincide with the birthday one, which it does, right? Because of the fonts and all of that. But isn't that the perfect sentiment for New Year's Eve too? A New Year's Eve, like a Happy New Year's card. So we're gonna ink up our stamp and we're gonna use this flat surface here and stamp it down. And now we're ready to die cut that. Because this is not a totally clear stamp, it's a cling stamp, I didn't want to worry about centering it after it was cut. So we're cutting it now after it was stamped. Much easier, okay? Okay, we'll set this back on top and we'll crank it through like that. Okay, there we go. That piece is ready. We're getting all the pieces ready. The glimmer paper is next. So I think what I need to do is cut it. It's not going to be wide enough to go through. We'll grab our trimmer and we're going to trim off. Let's see, how wide do we need it? Again, you know, this is a great way to measure. You're just going to lay it on there where you want it to go, and you can shift your paper over and trim. Love it? Great idea, right? Okay, next. We'll lay this on here. We've got our cutting mat down. We want a lot of blue on there. And I think this one's gonna be, oh, was I gonna do that one in a green? I wanna do that in a different color combo. I needed more glimmer paper. We did not have enough glimmer paper. I'm so bummed. So the card that you'll see on my blog after this goes live is going to be different than the one I'm sharing now because I can't replicate it. I don't have enough glimmer paper. But we will go ahead and do, yeah. Okay, we don't have blue. That's okay. We're going to do different color combo. So we're doing 2 circles of the same color combo, okay? And then we have to do another 2 circles of a different color combo for this card. And the reason why is because you're using half of each circle and you need different sizes for these to do the split circle look. So when you're going to do a split circle card, you might as well do 2, okay? Otherwise, you're going to be wasting half circles. So there is our second set of circles. We're done with the big boss. We're going to put it away. We'll just crank this in. I'm going to set it over by my desk. We're ready to stamp and pull this together now. So we're going to work on the white card first. This is the one that that coordinates with the Artistry Blooms card that I wanted to design. And we need half circles. So for my first card, I've already got those half circles ready. But what I did to prepare them is I took a circle like this and I knew I wanted the colors to kind of flow into each other. So I cut it halfway this way. So it's parallel to the color changes, if that makes sense. I don't want to cut it in half this way. I want to cut it in half this way. So I need to turn it on its side, and I'm going to look at my paper trimmer. So what I've got here on my paper trimmer is I've got these measurements, and I can look at the centimeter measurements or I can look at the inches measurements, but I just want to make sure that I have the same numbers showing on each side. the lines will help you too. There's little lines there, and you just line it up. I want to make sure I'm doing this right here. Hang on. Okay, we should be good. You just line it up like that, hold it down, and you cut it in half. You want to have, pretty good, you want to get it close enough to half, but if you're like a 1/16 of an inch off, or even, well, I wouldn't say an eighth, but you'll have a flow that looks better if they are closer to a half circle look. So now you can see if I shift them over, how they flow into each other, right? So these two, because they were the same color scheme, let's see here, 1.5, 1.5, good. These two circles will connect like this on one card, and they'll connect like this on my second card. So do you see why I had to cut in that direction? Because we wanted this flow of color to look smooth, as if they were one. So I did that with, let's just do it with these two really quick here too. So I'm cutting this one like that, and I'm cutting this one like this. I am live. Got lots of noises going on in this house today. All right, so those are ready for the other card. And then this is the set of half circles that I needed for the first one. All right, here we go. So, oh, one more thing. We got to cut these half circles. Oh my gosh, Rachel. I could have had a lot of this done ahead of time, but I'm going to blame it on the fact that it was a busy week. And my boys are still chatting up there. They don't hear me. Nick and Luke, can you please quiet down? All right, so on this card, we're going to combine. Oh, you already saw it. It peeked at you. We're going to combine this circle with this white with this purple, like that. And on this top portion of the fun fold card, or the pocket card which we're making, we're going to have this purple. You see how the color is going to flow into itself? Then this white and this blue like that. And look at how the colors flow because of how we're combining them together. So we're going to attach them, and if we flip this around, you can see that we're going to attach them in the upper left-hand corner if we have the flat side up. So let's go ahead and start. Let's attach this one first, because that's just using regular adhesive. Regular adhesive on the back of the glimmer paper. And you just want to make sure that all the flat edges are lining up. Ooh, let's redo that again. Okay, so flat edges, but then the corner touches. Now to put this piece on the glimmer paper, I think a stronger adhesive is a little bit more necessary. So where are our glue dots? Oh, they're on the flip side on this roll. How fun. Okay, so we're just gonna pick up our glue dots. It's like bloopers, you guys. This is like a bloopers video. Oh my goodness sakes. So we're just picking up a few of these glue dots because they have kind of more of a squishiness to them, and when they attach to the glimmer paper, they're going to get down into the grooves of the scratchier surface that you have on glimmer paper. Okay, then let's do this one. Same thing. My kids probably have their headphones on. They are doing online school. Plus they're not used to me going live on Thursdays, so they probably are just kind of like not paying attention to what I'm doing. All right, so we got that. I'm laughing because I can still picture some of the sounds that were occurring when I first pressed that live button. Normally your glue dots, by the way, are on this surface. I don't know what happened here in, I got a flawed one. Oh, go with the flow, Rachel. Have a glass of wine. All right, so we have that done. That's gonna get stuck on here. And then again, we will flip these around like that, and that's how they flow. Now these two circles are not going to fit inside the 4.25 wide card here. So what we want to do is we want to kind of center the connection before we adhere. So we want to kind of shift this over and see where it's going to go, and then make it kind of even on each end so that we have about the same amount coming off of each end. We can flip it over and peek, and sure enough, we have about the same amount. So now we'll just keep one in place. There we go. You stay there. We need a block. We need something heavier. There. Okay, and then we'll take this one and stick it down. Oh, and before we stick this one down, this is our top one. So this is the one where I want to put a little bit of decoration behind it, because we want to have some kind of, I don't know, something different than just the circles being the focal point. So this is where this piece comes in. But I want to save this flower here, so I'm going to carefully cut that flower out of this area before we attach it on the rest of the portion. So we're just cutting carefully around this flower like that. Okay, so now we have a hole in here, and that's okay. That's okay. This will still work. This is going to get laid on top of that area like this, and it covers up the hole. Okay, let's put a little adhesive under here. It's coming off. There we go. Okay, so we have that done, and now we just trim around it with our paper snips. I have one assigned for paper and one assigned for ribbon. Hang on. And I don't know where my other one is. Oh, here it is. Okay, so then we just trim this up like that and like that. I have a feeling this video is going to be more than an hour. Okay, so now we've got that done. Now we put more adhesive on the back. And we know that it's going to come off the card a little bit, so we have to do a little bit more trimming, but this is going to line up with the top flap of the card. So we can take all that down and trim all this. You had to cut through lots of layers on that one. So there's that. And then we can take this and attach it. You guys okay if I go over an hour today? Oh my gosh. Okay, go grab more coffee. That gets attached down here. And again, we have to trim off the excess. Cutting through several layers there. So there's that. Now we're going to make a pocket. And to make the pocket, we're going to grab some tear and tape adhesive. I think all my adhesives are new today. It's like totally a new roll. Did I want that? I guess I did. I'm going to use a whole new roll. That's why it's called tear and tape, because you can tear it. Although I always tend to catch a little bit of cardstock in it when I tear it. So there's that. Let's burnish it with the bone folder, which is under my pile. Everything's under my pile of glimmer paper there. And then take your pick tool and carefully peel away the release paper on each side, like that. And my suggestion, whenever you make a gift card holder, just stick a gift card in there when you press down the tape, because that'll help create an area that's, you know, a little bit lifted for that gift card to go in. Let's focus on the inside of the card, because we want to have a little flower that comes up and out like this. So because of that, we need to make sure that when we attach our black circle, that it's going to cover up anything excess. Like maybe this corner here, we can probably curve out that corner and that corner. Okay, so now that flower, when we put this on here, will work. So we're going to save that because we're going to make sure that we attach it at the same time as we attach this. Here comes another technique that is more advanced, or something that, you know, when you're a beginning crafter, it's one of the first things that you dive into when you know that you love paper crafting. And ignore my dirty Versamark pad, but I'm going to use the thank you image from the stamp set called Hand Drawn Blooms. So again, I'm just using that one image up there, and we're going to stamp that down somewhat centered in the circle here with our Versamark ink. Versamark ink is a clear sticky ink, and it will allow us to hold on to our embossing powder. So I've emptied my embossing powder into one of these plastic containers, and I just throw the powder on top. I tap off the excess like that, and then I heat it. So some of you said, you're gonna burn your fingers. They recommended tweezers, that kind of stuff. So what I did is I thought I'd bring out my makeshift little embossing thing that I use when I emboss with smaller pieces. So yes, I like to emboss when I hold it just in my hands. It's not safe, but I always make sure that I'm angling away from my fingers when I do it. And maybe my fingers are numb and I don't feel the heat, but this is really strong heat. So here's another way you can do it safely. You can use tweezers, yes you can. You can also use a wooden stick. This is one of those skewers, a wooden skewer, you know, when you barbecue and stuff. And you can see it's well loved. And then underneath here, I have a piece of chipboard or thick cardboard that's been covered with foil. And that's supposed to help reflect the heat so that when you emboss, it gives more of an even heat. And there we go. There is our piece that is embossed. So that white powder that I sprinkled on there is now solidified, and it is raised and really nice bright white. You can feel it. It's got a really fun surface to it. So on that note, let's take our glue dots again, our really messed up glue dots. This is craziness. Okay, and we're going to put glue dots just on the upper half. So I'm going to kind of mark it with my hands, knowing that I only want to put glue dots up here. Okay. It's so much more awkward, you guys. I'll have to call Stampin' Up. Sometimes that happens. So there's my upper half. So I can add another one up here. And I think I'll stop there. That's going to get put in this spot on the card. And this is going to go underneath it. So let's just take a little bit of adhesive on that tab portion that we saved. And we will put that so that it is right about there. We might have to put glue dots on again, Rachel. Yeah. Do this. Don't do what I just did. Hang on. Let's do this instead. This is going to go here. Let's put glue dots on that one. Too many cards, too many fun projects. We're putting glue dots on the other side because that's going to go against the glitter paper. There, this was smarter. And then this will go right on top, like that. Did we do it? Did we have success? We did. It's not as centered as I wanted it to be, but it's close. Okay, press that down. The last part on this card is just to take and put some fun adhesive back sequins in here. So we'll grab our pretty purplish ones. We'll put one here, and then we'll put one, they're just popping up and off, aren't they? We'll put one here, and then I think I'm going to bring in the blue. No, you know what? We'll just stick with the purple because I ran out of blue. There's one purple. You ever have one of those days? Oh my goodness. There we go. Multicolored. They're fun. They're rainbowy. This card is going to be a little bit different. Just slightly different than the one that's going to be seen on my blog post, but that's okay. That's hard to do with glimmer paper. And there you can see I've got the card in the pocket. Let's look at the next one. The next one, we have all our pieces ready to go. We just have to pick which halves we're using where. And we have to cut our other half circle. All right, so we have all of our pieces except we have to cut that. And I think what we're going to use is this piece and this piece. Oops, it's going to have to be that one because it has to flow into the color. So we'll move those aside, and then we'll grab this one and this one. No, we'll grab this one. And see, that's the fun of the glimmer paper. It makes you think. And this one. Yeah, that looks better to me. Oh yeah, and we gotta die cut these puppies. Rachel just wants to show too much. So let's cut this really quick. Cut that in half. Again, making sure that it looks centered between your lines on your trimmer. Every circle is different, so I'm not even going to tell you where to line it up because you just have to eyeball all of those. So that's ready. Let's put these. Can I cry now? I cut the wrong size. I cut the wrong size. So let's do this. Let's do this. I can solve the problem. I think I cut the wrong size white circle. We have to cut anyways because we're going to be doing these words. So let's grab the big boss one more time. We're going to keep these as is. We can do it. We can do it. We're going to cut one more white circle, and it's going to be in between those two sizes. Let me grab more white. Okay. All right, we're going to bring the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine back over. Seriously. We're going to line these up in here. Let's do more of a purple look on the New Year's. Remember, these were our sticker sheets, and then we need another circle that's in between those two size circles that we had with our glimmer paper. Here we go. I'm laughing inside, you guys. I am laughing. Okay, so as you see it flow through, you can see how I lined up everything. Those are cut. We have our circle that's going to fit. We'll cut it in half, I hope. Oh, Rachel. Rachel. Seriously, I'm just going to show you the finished one because you know how to do the circles. But I'm going to walk you through these steps. How's that sound? Okay? I'll walk you through the steps. My goodness sakes. How many of you are laughing out loud with me right now? I hope you are. Okay, so we've die cut our words. We're going to peel the die away, and you can see it sometimes kind of clings to the die because it's embedded in there. So you want to just kind of use your tool like that, and it'll help release it from the actual die. It's also going to be separating from the adhesive sheet, and that's totally fine. And sometimes you might even have to grab your take your pick tool. Okay, so we've released it. We've got our new within our die still, but our years is right here. So you'll just take and carefully pull it out. And again, you can use your take your pick tool to grab it all. But you grab it like that, and this becomes a sticker. Like, it's sticky. It's sticking to my fingers. So that way, when you add it to the inside of your card, you just have to lay it down. Same thing with the word happy. When you build up this card, you're going to do it the same way. So here's my stars, and I think I had them on kind of positioned like this, and I put my circles, my half circles on there. But the circles, when I laid them on my finished card, which you'll see in a minute, the split goes right through the middle of the card, and you could see the split. So instead, I took some ribbon. And on other cards that I've seen where the split circle technique is used, people are, you know, putting little things that flow across that little section where you can see the split. But I just took the ribbon, and I'll show you how I positioned that. And this is the finished card. Good thing I had a finished one, right? This is what it looks like. So you can see the flowing circles, but here is where the split is. Oops, if I pull that away, you can see the split of the circles, and I didn't want that showing there, so I just put my ribbon there. It's holding on to the star dies just like I did before, so those aren't stuck down, although you totally could put adhesive sheets behind these before you die cut them, but you don't need to. You stamp, and then you die cut your circle, and then embellish with the adhesive back sequins on the inside. Again, it just opens normally, but there's where more of my glimmer paper is stuck down because they became stickers with the adhesive sheets. And here's my big circle on the inside. I tied the ribbon on the inside. That's where I put the knot. That way it didn't kind of, you know, bunch up over here, which would then cause you to see that seam again, which you didn't want to see. So there's that card. Here's the other two. Thank you for dealing with all my little issues that I had today. I'm just going to open that one up so you can see them all at once. Boy, what a day. 3 videos in less than 24 hours, 2 blog hops. I'm going to go eat my yogurt soon. But make sure you catch those other 2 videos, especially the one with the new products, because it's amazing. All the fun stuff that's coming. So on that note, thank you to everybody who joined. We have to do prizes. So let's pull in the prizes that we had from last week, and I'll announce the winners from that. Let me get my computer set up over here so that that's in view when I switch you over. And then I'll show you the prizes also for the winner for this video. So Trisha's going to draw a winner in just a second. But let me show you what the winner for the live and the after live people will get. The winners will get a roll of tear and tape adhesive and a pack of the sequins, the Artistry Bloom sequins. So comment if you haven't yet during the live so that Trisha can get your name in the drawing. And then after the live is over, there's another section where you can comment on this video. It's just underneath typically, and you just add a comment and you can get entered into the prize drawing for the after live winners. So on that note, I have after live winners from last time. Let me set these aside and show you those prizes. I know, we just did, I think we did sequins last time too, didn't we? I want to say we did. I don't remember. I think it was, because that's what I have sitting here in front of me. So we had more adhesive back sequins last time, and then we had some very, very pretty ribbon. Yes, this is what it was. It was the swing fold cards that we did, and I had put some ribbon that was similar to this, that's current, our white metallic edge ribbon. But this is a retired ribbon. It's our blushing, petal pink metallic edge ribbon. So the prize winners for that, da-da-da-da-da. Yay, Cynthia, and is it Jean? I think it's Jean. I think that's how you say your name. Congratulations to both of you. You are the winners of those prizes that I just showed you. And then Trisha, I bet, has got a name pulled up. So let me peek here. Thank you, Maureen. I'm looking at comments right now. So many of you are empathetic, I should say, to my issues that I had today. So Trisha's going to name a winner unless she already has. Peeking. And while we're waiting, next week on December 9th, Wednesday, we'll go back to Wednesday lives. I have a fun fold card for you that was requested that I share. And I'll share that at 11 a.m. Central Time, so we'll go back to our regular times. And Trisha has just announced It looks like it's Sue, and it's just Sue, the person who comes up in the comment feed who has Sue as her name. That's fun. But yeah, so contact me, Sue. Congratulations. And thank you, Trisha, for all your help. Thank you all for bearing with me while we had these little glitches that occurred. Again, this blog post will go live at 3 p.m. Central Time, which is 3 hours from now. Now it is. And next week I'll see you at 11 a.m. Central Time for another card. And I won't have 2 blog hops that day, so we'll be more mentally intact. You guys have a great rest of your week. I think that's it. I'm peeking here. I want to see if there's any other announcements we have. Oh, one announcement. Next week on Tuesday, the retiring products and products that are going to carry over or still be available from the current mini catalog, which is our August through December mini catalog, will be announced. So if you are not subscribed to my blog, oh, wrong one. Subscribe to my blog so that you can get updates and information. Make sure you do that. Head on over there. If you're a demonstrator, you just know, just keep watching your current updates. And then also, if you're interested in any of the products that I just shared, you can click the shop button in my website. There's also a link in the description below. So thank you. On that note, I'm going to say goodbye, everyone. I bid you adieu, and now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.